What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Blindside Sports. And I know it's been a little bit since we've done an episode, but we're back and there's so much to talk about today, man. I mean, from Kevin Durant to the Minnesota Vikings to Aaron Judge winning the MVP. Nick's very passionate about that. I'm Emmett Douglas alongside me. You hear him on this show and you see his hot takes on Twitter. He is a very angry Chargers fan. It's Nick Wright. But he's a good guy.
I'm angry about a lot of stuff, as you can probably tell.
He's an angry guy, but he's a good guy. It's Nick Wright is Nick Wright on Twitter, back for another episode. Nick, I just have to say, man, you're a pro. Like we were talking about this before the show, but I'm sure you're doing great, man. I mean, Ohtani not winning the MVP. Your Chargers are just being the Chargers for like 11 weeks now. Lakers, man, it's a very interesting time for being a sports fan if you're Nick Wright. I mean, all of your teams the Angels, they picked up Tyler Anderson. How about that the other day?
How do you feel
about that?
I love that. No, I love that. I can't believe the Dodgers didn't get him back. But I mean, I guess, the Dodgers not wanting to give him 3 years. I get it. But here's the thing. Am I happy about getting Tyler Anderson on the back end of his career for 3 years and a lot of money? I mean, it's an upgrade from our starting pitching. Is it a place where pitchers and players go to die in Anaheim? Yeah. But I mean, hey, maybe this one will stick. You never know.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like the Anaheim curse. I don't know what it is with the Angels.
No, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's weird. And I mean, speaking of cursed teams, we'll talk about one of them that I don't know. Maybe they're not cursed anymore. We'll get to it. But I want to lead with an NBA story that caught my eye here yesterday. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Kevin Durant called out his starting lineup and basically said that is the reason we're not winning. And he named all the guys like, Nick Claxton, people like that.
It's unbelievable.
I know, man. I really don't. And I don't get it. I mean, KD, for real, this is the last thing you need to do with all the controversy surrounding the Nets, all the crap going on in the locker room. They're frustrated with Ben Simmons. Talk about a bleep show. And this is the last thing that is going to help this bleep show become to a somewhat normal show. KD calling out his teammates. It's disgusting, man. I don't get it. It's a bad look for KD. And if you're his teammates, you're trying not to get mad at him. I get KD's a good player. I get he's generational. But calling out your teammates is just uncalled for. I mean, especially with the Brooklyn Nets, what they're going through right now, dealing with not having Kyrie Irving, who's getting reinstated Sunday, dealing with Ben Simmons not living up to hype and having his knee injuries, dealing with Steve Nash, letting go of their head coach and all of this. The last thing you need is for KD to be coming out and calling out everybody. I mean, I say this all the time, Nick. You've probably heard me say it on this show. I said it on Twitter at EmmettNosi04, which I kind of want to get to that in a little bit too, the whole Twitter thing. I know it's non-sports related, but we'll get...
Before it gets shut down, yeah, we might as well get in there before it gets shut down, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like this look, and here's what I was gonna say. Brain farted right there. I'm a firm believer, and if you have a good locker room, you're gonna be fine. And if you have a bad locker room with bad chemistry, well, it's gonna be bad for your team. I mean, Kevin Durant we haven't seen. Nick, have you seen any of like the people he called out respond to it yet? Or I haven't really seen that.
That's the no. I mean, if I was on a show and if I had to name one player that he called out, would you survive? No, I'd probably be dead. And that's that.
I said Nick Claxton.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I blanked on the three of their names. Joe Harris, is that one of the other? Hold on, I'll find the tweet.
I don't believe so. But I'm just glad that the Lakers are the biggest clown show this year. But not really, because the Nets are kind of overshadowing them. So I'm thankful for the Nets for this bleep show to kind of hover over the Lakers to make them not look as bad. So I'm thankful for Kevin Durant for that, and Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope for the Nets that they fix this. I'm trying to find the official players here.
We don't need to know. Nobody cares. The only thing is, let's just get into it, because here's the thing.
Edmund Summer, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Nick Claxton, and me. That was his quote. How do you expect us to win?
All right.
So
I mean,
there you have it.
And here's I believe a long time ago we did our official D-bag list of athletes.
Oh
And I
yeah.
know Kevin Durant came into my list. And here's the thing that I just want to compare, and it's kind of apropos because they lost tonight. I put Kevin Durant and Aaron Rodgers in I put them in the same exact rowboat. They are the same to me because how good they are talent-wise. They're
bad leadership.
All-time players. They are beyond not being leaders. They have no idea how to lead the team no matter how talented they are. Can you imagine? It is unbelievable that Kevin Durant, of his stature, his status, and he will go down as an all-time player. Maybe top 20, maybe. I don't want to hear I hear a lot of people going that he's going to be top 10, maybe top 15. Yeah, okay. You got to be insane to think that because first of all, the most cowardly move in sports history, going from the Thunder to the Warriors, who the Warriors beat in the
Western Conference Championship.
Yep. Into the and then going to that team. Yep. It's like the bully who beat you up in high school or in middle school on the dodgeball team, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna try to be the cool guy and just go to the team that beat me. I've always
that's just how the NBA is, though. The NBA, you gotta go to the best team, man. You have to. Oh, if Kate, Golden State wants me, I'm going. Of course, that's how they are.
Kevin Durant got 2 free. Was he the best player on that team? Of course he was. Did he get 2 free rings?
You think he was better than Curry?
He was the man over Curry on those teams. He absolutely was. Was Curry the captain? Was he the big captain who steered that ship in the right direction? Sure, but Kevin Durant was absolutely the most talented person on that team. He won 2 Finals MVPs, but they are still 2 free titles and rings for him because he cannot, and it's proven ever since, before and after, he can't lead a team by himself. He has to tag along with great players to make it. And he even had Kyrie and Harden couldn't do crap. Now, Kyrie's a nutcase. Harden got fat. A lot of things happened.
I mean, Harden's a little immature too. So I mean, and
the whole leader thing too. The fact that he goes after guys on Twitter who have 50 followers that talk crap on him, and he got busted. He even got busted from his burner account. He's literally a 12-year-old. And he's one of the best NBA players ever, but he's a 12-year-old, and this proves it even again by literally. He came out and literally dropped names of his own teammates, being like, "Oh, what so ridiculous! I can't win with this. What are we doing?
Okay,
what is he doing here?
Hold on, isn't this the guy who said he was happy in Brooklyn? Didn't he say he was happy in Brooklyn?
Sorry.
Didn't he say he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy right now in Brooklyn"?
Yeah. He's a fake guy. He's a fake guy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost embarrassing how some of the stuff this guy does. I don't know if you remember, but some reporter with like 1,000 followers, like nothing too big time. Like they probably shouldn't have had the blue check mark, but they had it. This is before all the Elon stuff. They put out like something like, KD, respond to his 50, follower tweets, like oh, you stop calling me that. And it's like, dude, I like you as a player and I try to defend you, but you make like me you make yourself undefendable. Like you're soft, you can dish stuff, but you can't you can't take it.
Exactly.
I'm like, if let's say, probably the most relevant guy out of all of them, because it is the first guy named, we'll go with Nick Claxton. If Nick Claxton called out Kevin Durant for his crappy leadership, he'd be in tears, crying into his pillow because, Nick Claxton, he called me out. Like, if you can't dish it, don't dish it. If you can't take the heat, don't dish it. I mean, it's that simple. I like KD as a player. I do like. He's okay to watch, but it's just like, this is stuff that just is why the Brooklyn Nets are the Brooklyn Nets right now, and I wish I would have called this like 3 years ago, that this will have been the biggest bleep show 4 years in NBA history with all these signings and trades, but unfortunately I didn't. But, look, it happens. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright on Blindside Sports. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNosi04. Nick Wright at is Nick Wright. And if Twitter dies, I'm over on Instagram at Emmett Nosey, and my the show's account's at Blindside Sports 00 and TikTok's Blindside Sports 7. So if you guys want to go over there and follow just in case Twitter dies, probably should. I don't know, like this whole thing is really weird. Why don't we get into this real fast? Because I feel like Twitter is a big part of sports. Like, if you guys didn't see, a bunch of people, we're trying to get political or, none of that here, but Elon, because Elon Musk, I don't know, I feel like it kind of goes to politics with Elon. I could be wrong, but people, the Twitter employees left and hung up on a conference call with Elon Musk today and quit. So, and also, I don't know if this is a troll or not, because I haven't really seen more, like, I haven't seen one account tweet about this, but apparently they're locking the Twitter offices and like the key cards are temporarily suspended. I don't know if that was a troll. So I'm gonna go conspiracy theory here. I don't think Twitter's gonna die at this moment. No. What I think's gonna happen is Elon Musk is remodeling the building. Okay. That's where I'm going. I just have that feeling. I'm like, why? I mean, I don't think Elon's trying to tear it to the ground like purposely. Like I don't remember, like, didn't all the Twitter people, I don't remember if you saw this, but I don't know if the Twitter people had, like, they had free lunches, all this cafeteria and all this stuff in their building. Maybe he's taking it out and just making a boring old office building with nothing in it. I mean, I don't think it's dying soon. It's going to take a couple months.
My conspiracy theory, not conspiracy theory, this is all fugazi. Everyone's melting down. The whole world is melting down that Twitter's about to end tonight. Guess what? Whenever something big like Armageddon's going to happen and, 2012, the world's going to end.
Oh, I remember that.
This is going to be a fun little Twitter meltdown. And guess what? We're all going to wake up in the morning. Your account's still going to be there. Everyone's account's still going to be active. I mean, your construction thing is a little out there, but I mean, Elon tweeted about 20 minutes ago, like just like a emoji of like a black flag with a skull in it.
I saw that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what's up with that, but I mean, I guarantee that Twitter is not going away. There are way too many billions and billions and billions of dollars that go into everyone associated with that, higher ups. I think this is a fun little meltdown here that everyone's having, and everyone thinks that Twitter is dead tonight. And I guarantee
they're going to say something
wake up tomorrow and it's going to be fine.
No, that's the thing. If a social media ends, you can no longer use this, let's say tomorrow past November 18th at 11:59 p.m. or whatever, this is closing. It's not just going to close and go like anonymous like that. And it's going to take I think if they were to announce a closing time, it would be a couple months from now. Like,
exactly. Here's the thing too. All the engineers and stuff who, supposedly, reportedly, not factual yet, that everyone walked out and stuff like that. Guess what? There are bench warmers and bench players who are gladly going to help to step up to make that kind of money. So Twitter is not going anywhere. People are freaking out for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just like I like the jokes behind it because it is kind of funny. I know the guy who's filling in for Eddie Garcia put out on Twitter. He's like, "What if it goes on live air?" I'm like, in the middle of the Ben Maller show, I'm like that would be kind of funny. But I realistically don't think it's gonna happen. But I figured we had to talk on it just because the internet is literally exploding right now with it. Every time I go on Twitter, the first thing I see is something about, what if we never talk again? I saw that earlier. Or what if someone was like, I don't know where I'm going to put all my stuff, like all my social media or all my pieces and all that. I'm like, it's not going to happen tonight. You're going to, come on. Like, it's going too far at this point. But why don't we dive into another topic here? And that is the Minnesota Vikings. And, they've only lost one game this year. They are 8-1. They won a thriller against Buffalo on Sunday. Talk about a good game. And talk about, I got to ask you, obviously I can't really have an opinion on this because I can't see. Was the Odell Beckham catch better or worse than the Justin Jefferson catch?
All right. No. that Justin Jefferson catch was the best catch I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Wow.
Ever.
I feel like it's split down the
Ever.
middle because it's funny. Like we're talking, I didn't even like plan on asking you this, and it just came to my head. Last night, I was with a couple friends, and they were going into the debate and like kept watching both the videos on slow mo, and I think the overall conclusion was Justin Jefferson's was better. But the main point here, Nick, and I'll let you go first with this. Are the Vikings a for real contender in your eyes? Could you see them making a run?
Here's the thing. They're officially going to be a playoff team. They are a good team, but are they a contender? Well, they're going to go as far as Kirk Cousins can take them, and Kirk Cousins' track record in the playoffs is not great. And the thing about the Vikings that even though, I would love for the Chargers to be where they're at right now record-wise, I would love it. How can you talk crap on how many, they're an 8-win team?
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've won, I believe, 6 games by 1-score points. Okay? And I want to give you a flip side to this, even though they're my mortal enemy and I hate everything about them. The Raiders, I believe, are 0-6 in 1-score games. So they're a little bit like the Raiders and the Vikings, like a topsy-turvy parallel team, and the Vikings are just capitalizing on those 1-score games. And I believe forgot who said it, but you are who your record says you are. Cowherd still thinks the Raiders are a good team despite, those 1-score games. And guess what? The Raiders last year, with how many wins they had, they had like 6 or 7 games that are 1-score games. So I feel like this year, this is what the Raiders are, and because they barely squeaked out games last year, and now it's coming back this year. They're not a good team. That's number one. Number two, the Vikings. I always thought Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback, not great, not amazing. He puts up the stats, and I feel like this is maybe the year where I think he might break through. Because he's always had great. His playoff record stinks, but the Vikings, they just look like they're going through, like they pulled through that adversity. They're gutting it out in those final minutes and get the win. I really think in the NFC, I really think they could be a contender. I actually really do.
Agreed. And you kind of said it with this whole Kirk Cousins thing. He could break down at any time. That's just how Kirk Cousins is. And another thing too is you talk about like how this team just has that kind of awe factor. Kevin O'Connell has really shaped that team, man. I mean, it seems like a completely different like time there because the cursed team thing I was alluding to was the Vikings earlier because last year they were in 1-possession games and wasn't it the complete opposite? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a complete opposite. Last year they were always losing these 1-score games. They kept it close, and now this year they finally figured it out how to do it. And there are only really 2 real teams in the NFC right now are the Vikings and the Eagles. The only real teams I can get are like 49ers, 49ers, Vikings, Eagles. Those are my top 3. All right.
Okay.
Probably Eagles 1, Vikings 2, Niners 3. I could see the Niners, maybe getting ahead of the Vikings here, but I don't think it's likely because let's look at the Vikings.
Nothing on Tampa.
They're up there. I just don't with everything going on this year. I just don't know. But here's what I'm gonna say. Tom Brady does Tom Brady things. It's gonna be week 11. He has all the. I think they're on bye week. They're the bye week because my Seahawks are too. So they have they have this 2 weeks to hopefully regroup. And Tom Brady's 2-0 after the official divorce filing. Something could happen. I don't know if it's gonna. I just think those are my top 3. I put the Bucks at 4.
Ooh, I'm telling you right. Okay, do you want? I'll give you. I could
interchange the Niners with.
Can I give you a hot take right now on for the NFC side?
Yeah,
I think Tampa Bay is going to go to the Super Bowl at this point.
You do?
They're going to look at that division, the rest of their schedule. Tom Brady is lightning focused post Giselle. They're going to get into the playoffs, and who is Tampa going to face? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins.
I
I feel like it's paving the way for Tampa to squeak in the playoffs, maybe not. And I just think it's going to be a classic like Tom Brady resurgence once playoff time hits, because let's look at the Packers ain't going to make it. Rodgers is out.
No.
What other elite NFC quarterbacks is he going to face in the playoffs? I already know it right now. I think I know we're only halfway through the season, week after, whatever. For me, I know they're only 5. What are they? 6? Wait, what are they? 5-5, 6 and 5-5, I think.
Yeah.
I know they're only 5-5, and I know that. I will say the Niners with McCaffrey now is definitely a legitimate. But I think Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, Tampa Bay I think that's my big thing. Like, I just have a feeling.
Yeah, it's not. I can't even argue against it because Brady's done it so many times. But it's just, for me, the lack of offensive line. I don't know. I just have a feeling about that. And you said schedules. Talk about an easy schedule for the Vikings here. Cowboys, which is this week. Which, okay, that's a little hard. Whatever. That's probably one of the harder games they're going to have. And then you go over to the Patriots, which is on Thanksgiving. And then you go to you play the Jets. Then you play the Lions. Then you play the Colts. Then you play the Giants, which are one of the weirdest good teams in the NFL. Then you play the Packers. Then you play the Bears. So, I don't have Tampa's schedule in front of me at this moment. I pulled Minnesota's. But it's just, the schedule seems pretty easy for Minnesota. Nick, let's go. I'm going to read you the games again, and you're going to tell me win or loss for Minnesota. Cowboys.
Loss.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. Out of all these teams, in the 4 weeks, that's the most confident I could say the Vikings will take an L. Patriots.
Win.
Agreed. Jets.
Win. Jets Agreed. Are frauds.
Yeah. Lions.
Win.
Yep. Colts.
I would hope a win.
Giants.
Win. Giants are frauds too.
Packers. We're in agreement on all of these.
Oh man, interdivision.
I could see the Packers pulling off the upset.
That feels like a Rodgers game.
I agree. I exactly. And the Bears. I could see Justin Fields having a heater to end the season.
Yeah, I'll go Bears. Yeah, so the Vikings are still looking good.
Yeah, that's 3 losses throughout the whole year. That's pretty good. And that, shoot, depending on what the Eagles, they're the same record. It's all comes down to seeding at this point. But then again, we see it. Is the bye week really good for these players in the playoffs? The Titans and the Packers, who both had the bye weeks, which I don't know, could you argue the Titans were maybe not a Super Bowl contender, but they lost in their first games being played, both the bye weeks teams. So you kind of have to wonder. Maybe there's a week off, kind of give them a disadvantage, and the wild card team gets all hot from their wild card W. It's kind of a question.
It's always been a lifelong debate whether I really think that always depends on the team, the players, what they do on their time off.
Agreed.
It's always a crapshoot on if that's good or bad. It's hard to say. It's always hard to say about that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But I just have to. You kind of have to question it though. With what happened last year, maybe the Vikings don't want the bye week. Maybe you want to let the Eagles do that. But I feel like that's kind of soft, just tanking not to get the bye week. Come on. But it's probably not the best one that they don't get it. I really hope that we have a good playoffs this year. The way the season's going, I'm expecting something weird to go down in the playoffs. I really am. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout we never expected or some very BS call, but the way the season's going, man, something weird is going to happen.
Oh, I already know. I'm calling it right now. Eagles are going to be a first round and out. Calling it right now.
I got somebody bookmark this, clip it. I'm clipping it. If you put that on Twitter, if Nick put that on Twitter, go bookmark it right now. Eagles are out first round. That is a hot take and a half. I picked them to be better this year, and I have probably one of the stupidest Super Bowl picks. And do you remember my Super Bowl pick really quickly?
No.
Chargers Rams.
Oh, I know. I remember you had the Chargers. Honestly,
Yeah,
Next
I kind
time,
of blame myself for the collapse of the Chargers this year.
I didn't
My
have the
kiss of death.
Chargers. I had the Rams in the Super Bowl, so that's our AFC NFC comparison there. But yeah, I did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright on Blindside Sports. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNosi04. Follow Nick at IsNickWright. If you're liking the show, be sure to leave a like and comment. Turn on the post notifications and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you turn on those notifications, you will never miss when we go live. And I usually put it on Twitter, but if something happens to Twitter in the next couple months, these notifications are going to help you. But let's dive into Thanksgiving food here. And we always talk food. I don't know, because I feel like me and you have very interesting hot takes on food compared to most people. I don't think we're normal, like, for our food consumption. What are the most underrated and overrated Thanksgiving dishes for you? Like, what do you avoid and what do you love?
Okay, underrated for me, it's literally probably my second favorite dish. I love me some green bean casserole, baby.
Wow.
I love you got the crunchy onions on top. Maybe it's like my family recipe that I'm used to. But you got the crunchy onions on top, the green beans, and the casserole on the bottom. I think that's an underrated side dish. It's been a while, but like in my family households on Thanksgiving, I'm like I take away half of it basically because no one gets it. So that's mine. The one that I don't like, I don't know if that is this a staple. Tuna noodle casserole.
I've never had that, but I hate tuna, so I'll agree with you.
I like it's. I don't know. I don't like it. What I like cranberry sauce. I can't stand.
Completely overrated. Agreed.
And guess what? I'm gonna be in food hell for everybody watching this. I know this is blasphemy. I know I am gonna be on an island with this. I am not a big gravy fan. And looking at me right now, you wouldn't have thunk that, but I am not a big gravy guy. I think that's my hottest take on Thanksgiving. Like, I'm not saying like it stinks, right? This is my taste buds, and I've never been a big gravy guy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we have different taste buds than the masses. I like gravy, but I have a couple hot takes here for Thanksgiving. First of all, the turkey. Can't have an oven baked turkey. Has to be smoked. That's family preference probably.
Oh, get out of here. No way.
But actually, what I will say is last year we had a big kind of family thing in Oregon. So they had two turkeys. They had the oven, they had the smoked. So I gave it, I gave both of them a second opinion, especially the oven one. I tried to revisit that take. I was like, maybe I like it now, but I don't. And
I will say, I've had smoked turkey once, and I agree with you, it's better, but I still love me some ovens. By the way, just real quick, my late grandpa, who recently passed away, every year since my childhood and even to my early 20s, he would do bacon. He would literally get a pound of bacon and wrap that thing around the turkey. And just put that in the oven for literally a day.
Never mind that. If I'm going oven turkey, that's what I want.
I mean, that's like he would bacon wrap, and like that's the thing too. Like I would always have dibs on the turkey skin because you get that bacon flavor infused in the turkey skin. I'm just saying, my grandpa knew what was up, and
wow, that is fire, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That might change your mind a little bit.
Yeah, that
bacon wrap turkey, man.
Yeah, and it's kind of like going back to everybody's taste buds are different. I'm not a stuffing guy. That's just pure taste.
I'll put some on. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Stuffing is like it's just too dry. And again, it comes into my gravy thing because I know you got to put the gravy on it so it's not so dry. So it's kind of I'll put a little on my plate because it's there. I'll kind of mix it in with my mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I love the mashed potatoes and gravy. Also, the dinner rolls are with the butter, with the ones you rise.
Thank you.
Let them rise. Those are the best ones.
Most underrated side is the dinner rolls with a little butter on there.
Do you guys get the rising ones?
Yes.
You dip them in butter as they're rising. They are number one.
Absolutely. We're there. We're right. We're there with each other on that one. All right.
Yep. And then obviously I don't know if you guys do this, but mac and cheese, man.
Oh, of course.
Oh, I
Yes.
bet that's my favorite. A good mac and cheese on Thanksgiving, man, is the
Like
number
I'm the
one.
worst. Like I got like, oh, by the way, I guess my thing is I can't stand ham. That's just always been me. I don't like ham. I'm turkey guy over ham guy on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So again, that's an unpopular
You guys do
opinion.
turkey
I
on
can't
Christmas?
stand ham.
You guys do turkey on Christmas?
Yeah.
We do prime rib.
Oh, well, I wish I did that, but
Yeah.
I mean, not
Yeah,
throughout my history of family, but I
it-
would prefer that, but I never got it.
Right. Yeah. So the pies. We'll quickly touch on this. Are you team apple, team pumpkin? What's your pie of choice?
I'm not a big pie guy. But I mean, I'll definitely go, I'll definitely go pumpkin, but it's got to have a lot of whipped cream. That's my only thing. I'll go pumpkin, but I mean, I'm not a big apple pie guy. I'm not a big, whatever pie.
I like pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go pumpkin. But
I feel like
still don't love it.
I feel like you have to wait like 3 hours after you eat the all the dinner.
Oh,
kind of like your stomach. Yeah. Like now, I feel like the more like it's gonna sound really cringe, but the more older I get, the more I go by that take. Like,
You're
just
2
in
years
general.
old. What are you talking about?
I'm 18, bro, but still.
Okay, well, to me, that's 2.
Still, the point still stands though. Like when I was young, I could just go straight from the big old turkey dinner to dessert. Now it's like I don't want to do that. Like it's not enjoyable.
Well, your health is going to thank you in your later years, I promise.
Yeah, maybe. But then like later at night, like the third hour of Ben's show, like last year, I remember. I was like, oh, the pie, man. I got to go for it. And like the third hour of Ben's show, it had to happen. But why don't we move on to some? Do you have the games that we want to pick, Nick, for the week 11?
We want to do some recap?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great idea. Why don't we?
Okay,
real fast.
Well, let's go to my favorite
Charger.
one of the whole week, and we did touch on it. I believe the last show, or maybe we tweeted about it. I can't remember, but I thought we went over the Jeff Saturday stuff. I'm like pretty sure.
No, okay, let's go over that. Let's go. No, we tweeted about it. Yes.
Okay. Well,
I'll go first.
Let's do a quick one here. That was ridiculous. It was insane. Jim Irsay has lost his mind. I've never seen a dumbest beyond all of sports history. That has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So let's just pretend that we just did this take a couple weeks ago, or a week, whenever. Let's fast forward now, because I said if the Raiders somehow lose this game, they should
Josh
do a
McDaniels needs to be fired.
Fire sale of the whole organization. And lo and behold, somehow the Raiders lost the game.
What was that?
The game, like I remember getting up. I'm like, the only game I cared about besides the Charger game, we'll get into that later. I was like, I could not wait for this game. I'm like, there is no way. And I was just watching pure comedy for 3 hours. And lo and behold, Jeff Saturday, who has as much NFL coaching and college experience than me and you, beat the Raiders in his first game, quote unquote, coaching. He wasn't coaching. He has no idea what the hell he was doing. And they still beat the Raiders. And somehow, some way, Jeff McDaniels still has his job.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane. And Bill Plaschke came out with a report earlier today saying that Mark Davis, owner of the Raiders, said they can't fire him because they can't afford to fire him.
Yeah.
It is
it's terrible.
The Raiders are I even though I really thought the Raiders would be good this year
Agreed.
into the season. I was nervous about the Raiders. I never predicted this kind of clown show, this clown shoery. Like the fact that they lost to the Colts. I mean, how nobody is fired yet, and we're on Thursday right now is. I mean,
it's incredible.
It's crazy.
Agreed. It's just like, how do you lose to the Colts, who, keep in mind, not a good team. Like even if let's say Frank Reich was still there, I'd still call for McDaniels firing after that loss. I mean,
I can't believe
it's terrible, man. I mean, to all of the Raider fans, I just I mean, you're probably laughing in their face because you're a Chargers guy, but I can't help but to kind of feel bad for them, man. I mean,
No, you know who I do feel bad for, and I crap on him all the time on this show. Even though I think Derek Carr is a mediocre at best quarterback, did you see his little press conference where he cried basically?
yeah.
Like, I felt bad when he was explaining that, like, his routine, and like he has to take sleeping pills and pain pills to try to sleep, and like he's putting in all this work and basically calling out his teammates saying they don't put in the same work that he does. I kind of feel bad for him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And by the way, he is not gonna be on the Raiders next year. Promise you that.
I can agree, and especially because did you see the report after? I don't remember who this was, but they said that they plan to bring back McDaniels next year.
I know, yeah, because the report was that like because they can't afford to.
Yeah, this was before
else.
Plaschke's article. This was Monday morning,
right
before Bill Plaschke even probably thought about writing this piece. Like, I mean, how crazy is that? You guys have one of the you have the best receiver in the league, great, good offense, all this, and then your coach comes and fumbles the bag for you. How embarrassing. I do agree. I think they're going to need to make some moves, and they're not going to fire McDaniel. So I think Derek Carr is the victim of that one. I think they are going to say goodbye to Derek Carr. And quickly, enough of the Raiders real fast. Did you?
Wait. I'm sorry. I got to just go back really quick. I watched Cowherd and other shows and things. What do you think? I think the Raiders are going to trade Derek Carr and try to go for a prospect like C.J. Stroud or one of the. It's going to be a good quarterback class this year. It's going to be a great one. Do you think Derek Carr will go for a first rounder?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's not. It should be an easy question. No, there is no way a team is going to.
There's a difference between should and could, because should he? No, but could he? I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, the quarterbacks get so overpaid and overvalued now. I mean, we're seeing. I mean, they are the head honcho of your team, basically. Making sure your offense is all good. But we see these guys get all like crazy offers. I mean, I think Derek Carr, like at the time, if we're going back to the time when Wentz got traded to the Colts, so I believe it's like a third. I think Derek Carr, I think Derek Carr is better than Wentz was.
Sure. I'll say that, of course.
I think if I was a team, I'd probably go the same thing for like the Wentz trade, like a second or third, something like that, and like a fifth.
Right now, Houston Texans, 2 second-round picks is going to be for Derek. I'm calling it right now. He's going to the Texans. 2 second-round picks and change. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I could also see him giving up. Like, they have a bunch of firsts from the Watson trade. Maybe that late first.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I could see it happening. I like a team like the Texans.
He'll be a Texan.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see. Do you think maybe the Giants call for him, or maybe
no? Not with the way Daniel. I mean, I don't like Daniel Jones, but with the way he's playing, like, I don't think that's a big upgrade from Carr.
What about the Lions and Jared Goff? Like, do you think that's an upgrade?
That's definitely an upgrade. I could see that.
I mean, if the Lions don't have, because like the Lions, they've won a couple games this year, and they like 3 or 4 games, and we're still like in week 11. So like, who knows what they're gonna be in the draft pick market in terms of can they get a top landing quarterback prospect. So I think if they win a couple more games and they're done with Jared Goff, and they're like, oh, we need to do something, we need to say bye to him, I could see them going for Derek Carr. I don't know if they give up a first per se, but I could see them being in the running.
I mean, it's the Lions. I could see them blowing a first-round pick for him, sure.
True. But let's go over to another thing here. The Week 10 is this story broke before the game, but the whole Geno Smith and wearing the wristband thing, I found it very interesting. And then Pete was like, oh, Russell Wilson wasn't trying to do it. Look how smooth the Seahawks have looked. Like, obviously, I mean, last week was the exception. I mean, they were not looking good. But that wristband has just really worked for Geno Smith and getting that communication down. I mean, now I think he's not really worried about all the play calling and all that, make sure everything's right. I mean, Waldron can talk to him through this wristband. So I think it all works out. Are you I mean, what do you think on it? Like, I just thought it was interesting when I saw the headline.
My thing is the shade, just that subtle shade that Pete Carroll keeps poking and prodding at Russell Wilson over the last few weeks has been extremely entertaining. That's what I get from it. I mean, the wristband thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Geno Smith, he's been doing fine with it. I just like how Pete Carroll is just constantly throwing shade at Russell Wilson, and it's so obvious, but he can't say it, and people aren't really picking up on it, kind of. And I mean, I don't know. I like I said too. I just love what Geno Smith is doing is superhuman. Like I've never. I mean, literally not one person on this earth could have seen what Geno, even though you guys lost, no one saw what they could do this year. And again, I mean, and that's the thing too. Did I get up early for that Germany game last week? No. But when I woke up, I did like the play-by-play, and like Geno almost brought them. You guys almost came back.
Yeah,
and I said
I was up for the third and fourth, half of the third, most.
Okay, and like I said, if Geno came back and pulled that game off, he better damn be in that MVP convo. And I still think he's kind of
close.
The back ends of that.
They were very close to coming through.
I know, and if the Seahawks did pull off that game, I think Geno should be in the top 2 seat in the MVP combo. With how Josh Allen, being into that in a little, but like with the way Josh Allen's been not regressing, but just making mistakes in the red zone, and Jalen Hurts with that big loss against the Commanders, which I think is going a little unnoticed. But yeah.
We'll go to Josh Allen real fast. I mean, Jalen Hurts, that was kind of one game. I mean, okay, but
I know they finally lost the game, but it was against the Commanders at home.
Division games are the weirdest, though. Like
Taylor Heineke, I know, but it was Taylor Heineke. I mean, I know he didn't even play, but I mean, Taylor Heineke wasn't great, but I mean, 33 points to the Commanders at home. I mean, I think the Eagles are going to be brought back down to earth a little bit after that loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I don't see. I think they're going to lose like 3 or 4 more to be like. I don't know. Once you lose one, it just happens. But that's a hot take. But Josh Allen, going over to him. I mean, this has been happening. It's like you said. It's regression. It's not like he's still like Josh Allen, but he's missing plays. Turnovers in the red zone, and through 10 weeks, he's the leader in the league in interceptions.
And I can't
talk about. I mean, that was one of my look. From week 10, that Josh Allen has 10 interceptions and is leading the league in picks. I mean, how about that? I mean, I think the Bills, this is definitely bad for them. Definitely. I mean, Josh Allen's still battling that elbow injury. I don't know if I want to blame the injury because red zone mistakes. Like, he's still making Josh Allen plays. Like, I don't think it's the injury. All in
all, he still played a fantastic game. I watched that thing. It's just
there's a couple of plays that you can't throw picks.
This is why I'm not I know, like, what does he have? Like, he has like 5 turnovers, 3 turnovers in the red zone over his last couple games, which
since after the second quarter of the Packers Sunday night game.
I want to say 5 turnovers in the red zone over the last couple, several games, but still, they're 6-3 with half the season left.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, I said, I think at the beginning of the season we've done this. I thought Josh Allen was going to take over the league after this year. That's not looking great, but it's still they're 6-3 with half the season left. I mean, I'm not freaking out about the Bills at all. I don't think this turnover thing, I'm not saying it's like a fluke, but I don't think it's going to be an every week thing after this. I think Josh Allen's going to tighten up and still make a run for the MVP. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. If he's leading the league in interceptions, which might continue, I take that back. No MVP. But I still think the Bills are going to be in fine shape going into the playoffs.
Yeah, because I mean, their roster is just. I mean, they're deep, man. Like they got the defense.
They can't run the ball. That's going to be their downfall because they can't run. So that's.
And then you're not using 9. Like they trade for 9 times, which I like him as a player. They didn't really use him like that in the last game. I believe he had 1 target.
And the thing is, what the going back, I'm not trying to defend Josh Allen's turnovers in the red zone, but the Bills rely on his arm way too much. They don't run it, and they need to run more. And so it's all on Josh's shoulders every single play.
Yeah, it's kind of like this, and I hate to do, but just like different scenario, obviously, but it's kind of like the same thing a couple of years ago. I believe it's 2020 when Russ was like, "Let Russ cook," and he was like literally carried everybody on his back. I mean, different scenario, or different like type of situation, but similar scenario there. It reminds me a lot of that Russell Wilson thing where, let's just the first half of 2020, let's just use Russ all the time, every play, and then it just starts to. I mean, when you throw the ball like that, and that's all you do. I mean, picks are gonna happen, especially when you don't have a running attack, because like that run attack is gonna bounce out the defense, tire out the defense, open up routes for your receivers, and Josh Allen doesn't have the best running attack with him at this moment. So yeah, that's the one downside for them in the playoffs. I think is the running game. But I mean, I feel like maybe like 4, 5, 6 games of this is when I can be like, Josh Allen, okay, maybe you're officially done. I mean, the running, like you said, the running game is going to stop him from doing good in the playoffs. I think it's going to put a little damper to their run. But Josh Allen's still going to be Josh Allen. I mean, one thing he does is he keeps the games like close. It's not like he's getting dropped like 48-3 or something like that. Or like it's just these red zone mistakes that are costly. Even if he cut back on a couple of them, I don't think the hate would be as out there as it is. I mean, people are. Who did you see this? I believe it was Cowherd or Gottlieb, maybe. Somebody said Josh Allen is rookie Josh Allen.
Oh, you know what? I believe it was my better half, Nick Wright. I mean, he goes on his show every day and tries to bash Josh Allen. I mean, that's been his take of the year so far, is that like he points out all these Josh Allen and it's valid. He brings up stats and facts about it, but he's a little too far by saying like he's over. I don't think he said he's overrated per se, but he pretty much goes in that direction. And I just don't see Josh Allen just falling for the rest of the year like this. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, and I mean these next couple weeks here. I mean they got the short week after Sunday, so and then you go to how about this? I don't know why the NFL did this. On a tangent, I'm sure we'll get into this next show. Hopefully do one before Thanksgiving, but Lions Bills on Thanksgiving is kind of wild. I mean, it's interesting, especially the first game of the day. I know the Lions always play on Thanksgiving, and that's cool, but the Bills playing at 9:30 against the Detroit Lions, it's kind of crazy. That could be a good game. I think.
Well, I mean, are you talking about how it's going to be a snow? Are you talking about how they moved it, or
no? What I'm saying is the Bills play the Browns on Sunday at 10 a.m. in Detroit. And then on Thursday, which is next, Thanksgiving next week, they're in Detroit still, and they play the Lions. Oh, I just think it's out of all matchups, like they could have, had the Lions play against on Thanksgiving. I like how the NFL, let's have the Bills. that was my point there.
Oh, I know. I get you. But, I mean, the Lions always got to play on Thanksgiving. It's a stupid tradition.
Yeah, well, I never said the Lions shouldn't play. I never said that. I just the Bills is wild. I mean, it's always like Lions, Vikings, Lions, Bears. Like, it's always divisional.
Stars run the league now. Got to have Josh Allen on Thanksgiving. I get it.
Yeah, could put. I mean, he was on last year on Thanksgiving in the third game in the TNF Thursday Night Football. But why don't we? Do you have any other takeout? Actually, Chargers. Chargers. What are your takeaways from this? You texted me like I have so much to say on this, so I'll let you take the floor on this one completely.
Yeah, I was gonna pivot to that, so thank you.
Got you.
Yeah. So my fiance is the biggest Niners fan ever. So that was gonna be a big Sunday night thing for us, and I had to just sit there in misery for for the second half.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, here's the thing. The first half was looking pretty good. the first drive, Justin Herbert looked like Justin Herbert with literally throwing to I ordered Jack in the Box earlier. He, like the guy who delivered it looks, pretty much like every single Charger receiver he has right now. So, so I thought for the first half that looked really great. And then let's go to the second half where guess what happened? Oh, the Chargers scored 0 points. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo was playing a crappy game for the most part. And I just kept watching and watching and watching, just the Chargers trying to run on first down, and just kept trying to and then, so that was just a disaster. And then, I don't know if you saw this earlier, Frank Clark for the Niners came out and literally said, oh, their offense was so obvious, we just have to keep doing the same thing, and it was just
it's like they're playing Madden.
And that just calls out what me, and I'm number one in line. I don't care what any Charger fan says. I am number one, numero uno, in line by calling out Staley and Joe Lombardi since last season. Joe Lombardi is the top 3 worst offensive coordinator in the league, with dealing with one of the best quarterbacks in the league, Justin Herbert. Frank Clark literally came out and just called out how easy it was to stop that Chargers offense in the second half.
That's embarrassing.
Because they knew what was coming. And so many Charger fans like me rejoiced, my followers, I should say, came out and just said, like, what are some of you fans and other people not seeing with how bad Joe Lombardi is? We've been trying to say this since last year. He is not, despite Herbert having to throw it to Uber drivers, he still is just the most obvious play caller I've ever seen. And that was such a win, despite all the by the way, there's a graphic that shows the healthiest to unhealthiest teams in the league, and the Chargers are last with a bullet. Like, there's like a big gap even from 32 to 31. And that was still such a winnable game. They couldn't even put up a single field goal or maybe even a touchdown. Am I just going to keep defending Herbert? No. I mean, like, could he have played better and put more balls in certain spots? Yes. But the play calls were so abhorrent, and that Niners player came out and called it out, and what proved to everyone who has eyes watching that game showed. Like, it was just such a winnable game. But the fact, I will say, with Joey Bosa being out, I mean, the defense did their job, and the offense, of course, could not capitalize. So, going to the Chiefs game this weekend, I feel actually pretty good. I feel pretty good about this Sunday, Emmett. I'm not going to lie. We're going to have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams back. I really think if the defense keeps up, I'm feeling pretty good this week.
Yep. And
what do you got about the Niners game? What do you feel about that game?
Yeah, you kind of hit it on the nail there, and it's just you can't in today's NFL you can't go it's a 2-half game. You can't just score 0 points in a half and expect to win. I mean, it does happen occasionally. I mean, sucky teams are sucky teams, weird games are weird games, but that's not the norm. You can't expect. I mean, the play calling, and it's like I said this earlier. It's like they're playing a game of Madden, man. Like, you play against that guy who really doesn't know much about football, but he just likes the game, and he likes the players, so he keeps calling the same play. That's like what it was. I mean, when a defensive player goes out there and says it was so obvious that we just had to run the same play, which is basically like playing most people online in Madden nowadays, it's just like really it's embarrassing. If I was a Chargers fan, I would be mad. I would be livid. Lombardi just with the talent that Herbert has, and the talent of Austin Eckler, and the Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Donald Parham when he's healthy.
Oh, wait, I gotta stop you. Gotta stop you. So when people, this is what annoys me. I'm not trying to call you. I'm not like calling you out. But when
I'm not gonna pull a
Herbert,
KD and get mad if you call me out.
When people say Herbert has all these weapons, okay. He hasn't had Keenan Allen for a full 4 quarters of football this whole year.
That's not.
Okay?
I'm saying now he does. That's what I meant to say. Like that.
Well, I mean, we don't know if they're going to play yet. And so he's had a total of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams for a total of about 70 plays this whole season, which is
and most of them were Mike Williams.
Right, and it's been 3 games now since no Mike Williams. So
yeah, it's a Seattle game.
He isn't when I seriously, when I drive around and listen on radio and stuff like that, like everyone says, oh, Herbert has such a good team around him. Where I don't see it. Oh, what lineup do I see where he has some great team around him? I don't see it because they're all freaking injured. So no, he does not have some great team around him. And the fact that they're even 5-4 is nothing short of a miracle right now.
Yeah,
and
how about that?
If they're 5-5 after this week, they're still in the playoff hunt. And then they should even get healthier. So I mean, will I be crying if they lose to the Chiefs on Sunday? Of course. But they're still going to be alive because of how bad the Broncos and Raiders are. So it looks dire for the Chargers, but if they somehow beat the Chiefs on Sunday and then they're going to get way healthier after that, we got something cooking.
Talk about momentum. I mean, if you that's stealing momentum right there. You steal a game from, the best team in the division at this moment. I mean, I'm saying at this moment because guys get healthy, stuff like that. But even if these guys do get healthy, Lombardi, Brandon Staley, they're gonna choke. They're gonna call some stupid plays. Staley's gonna call for going for it on 4th and 2 at the 48 one too many times.
Guarantee you he goes for at least one boneheaded 4th down against the Chiefs this Sunday. Guaranteed.
Agreed. But
the thing is,
there a prop bet on that?
What?
Is there a prop bet on that, like over under of how many 4th downs Brandon Staley
Vegas has a prop bet for everything. But I will say, do I want Keenan Allen back the most? Yes. But at the same time, I kind of want Mike Williams, whenever he plays the Chiefs, has a star-studded game every time. And Mike Williams was interviewed saying, hey, you going to play this Sunday? And he kind of had a smirk being like, maybe. He's playing this Sunday. So
he knows
I'm always down every week. I'm usually I'm actually kind of positive about Sunday. I mean, Justin Herbert historically in his short young career, even though everyone says he's never made the playoffs, it's his 3rd freaking year.
For real, I hate that.
It's clown shows who say that. But I will say Herbert on prime time is money. I don't think he's losing 2 primetime games in a row. I just don't.
No, I agree, and it's also at SoFi Stadium, and this last
game. But I'm not gonna lie to you and say I think it's gonna be a lot of Chiefs fans there. But
but what's worse though, SoFi or Arrowhead?
The
second loudest stadium in the NFL. Multiple NFL players have said that, and it's
when
probably the
first Chargers played them first earlier in Arrowhead, I think they should have won that game because of that boneheaded. There was a reversal call that I remember we talked about. That should have been a pass interference, an interception on Mahomes, but it got reversed. And in that same day, there was a Patriots call that was literally the same thing, but they called it for the Patriots. That's a whole nother thing. I don't think the Chargers are losing to the Chiefs twice in 1 year. Don't think so.
Yeah. I wouldn't see. I could see the Chiefs pulling off the upset or the Chargers pulling off the upset against the Chiefs on Sunday.
It's gonna be. By the way, this could be an overtime game. I think this is gonna be a freaking nail biter. I think it's gonna be.
I feel like this will be lots of offense. I feel like that just is bound to happen. I mean, the first Chiefs Chargers game, there really wasn't much offensively, and now this one, especially if Herbert gets Mike Williams back, which with that smirk, I mean. I think he's trying to play. And
I think my gut tells me Keenan Allen, Herbert's go-to, Mr. third down, who will get a first down. I think if Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back, watch out because I think it's going to be deadly. I think this could be great. This could be perfect timing for them to come back. And I really pray. Because by the way, with the Niners game too, The Niners barely kind of won that game. It was embarrassing. The Chargers scored no points in the second half because the Niners got like 8 players back in that game and still barely won. So that's another confidence thing I have too.
Yeah, that is true. The Niners got very healthy that week, and you'd think coming off the bye that they'd had, McCaffrey would be locked in, everybody would be locked in, they'd come on primetime and wreck you guys, but that's not what happened. With gaining 8 guys back, you'd think it would happen, but no, it didn't. So if I was a Chargers fan, I'd be my head would be up high about that one, because it's just the Niners are one of the elite teams in the NFC, and you guys almost beat them. They were basically healthy. The Chargers are the opposite of healthy, as that diagram that you were talking about points out, that they're the 32nd healthy team in the NFL, but by a long mile. Like by like a mountain. Like they're like a whole state away. They're like far away from the 31st. So is not good for the Chargers.
As a Charger fan, that's what makes me so sad. If they were even like 15th healthiest in the league right now, they might be like 7-3 right now. I don't know.
You guys probably would have upset.
I don't know. Like anyway. But it's a classic Chargers year with injuries. It is what it is. I'm used to it.
Yeah, you're numb to Chargers doing this stuff. Getting more injured on the bye week is the most Chargers thing ever.
Yep. But still 5-4. We're still in the race, so
Yeah. How about you wouldn't, like, if you were a very casual, like not looking at records, who just would kind of skim the NFL on Sunday fan, you would not know like how close the Chargers are in the playoff run right now. Like it's very like it's crazy. Like it's crazy how with all that's gone on this year and all these injuries, and Herbert having the cracked ribs, and Lombardi having his crappy calls, and Brandon Staley.
It bugs me that people just keep forgetting that it's like when I see casual, stupid, even blue checks, real blue checks on Twitter, like media people who just kind of dismiss, like Herbert is playing so injured, and people just keep forgetting about that, and that's what really bothers me. Like he's playing on broken ribs, man.
Yeah, how long does the injury take how long does that take to heal?
I said no. It's not going to heal until the offseason. It's going to be with him. He is getting. I can't imagine the amount of pain, numbing meds that he's getting shot into his ribs every single week.
Yeah,
no, it's not going to heal the rest of the year.
For sure. And he's lucky that the Tyrod Taylor doctor is nowhere to be found. Hopefully.
Well, guess what? I have that doctor's jersey in my closet. So. Yeah.
Wait, do you? You do?
No.
Oh.
But I'm just saying I would if it was available.
That guy probably has.
I know I'm a terrible person. I feel sorry for Tyrod. But again, Herbert's career trajectory would not be where it is today if for that
completely agree.
Mishap, that little accident, which I told you about, my conspiracy theory that wasn't an accident. So.
Yeah. That's very it's crazy. I won't even be shocked at this point, man. Like, and nothing shocks me anymore. So, like stuff in 2022. It's just if that came out, I'd be like, okay, no, I'm not shocked.
I'm pretty sure Tyrod won. I know he sued the Chargers. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he got money yet, but
I don't know.
He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it, and that doctor deserves to be canned. But the
doctor helped the Chargers.
I'm not hating on it. I'm not complaining about it. As a Charger fan, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
makes me a bad person. That's fine, but Herbert's career wouldn't be where it is if that little incident didn't happen. So
no, he probably. When do you think he would have came in? Like realistically,
I don't. He might. If that didn't happen, I don't think he. If that incident didn't happen, I don't think he plays the whole year. I really don't.
Fair. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright, Blindside Sports,
and he became Rookie of the Year. Sorry.
Yeah, how about that? He went off, and nobody expect. I remember Justin Herbert's going to be a bust. Who was going to be the next, the next greatest and all
Guess
that.
Guess what? Emmett, in my Twitter background, which will live forever unless Twitter dies, I was on draft night. I said I wanted Herbert because I believed in him. And I am the 1% of Charger fans, if less, about that. So I'm not saying I thought he would be as good as he is, but I knew he'd be good. So. That's all I'm going to say about that.
you got your victory laps. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright with you. Week 10 was it was a good week for NFL. I liked it. Yeah, I wish we didn't play at 6:30 in the morning, but it's okay. Why don't we move on to some Week 11 matchups? Week 11 we have obviously the Chargers Chiefs. We kind of officially started our Week 11 preview with that one. We never officially said it, but we were talking about it. Nick, what are some games that you like for Week 11 here? Like what should we pick?
Ooh, you know what? I hate to say it because I cannot stand Mac Jones, and I think he's a terrible quarterback. I really do. Patriots are at home against, to my opinion, fraudulent Jets. I'm putting some shekels on that game.
What's the law?
I don't have the numbers on me. I don't have the over under or the over, but
I'd take the Jets or the Patriots to.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots at home. The Jets are just. I just think between all the New York teams besides Buffalo, I think the Jets and Giants are pure frauds. I really do. Especially the Giants. The Giants are the most. I think I tweeted it earlier this week. The Giants are the most unserious 7-2 team I've ever seen in my life. Like who believes that the team 7-2 like the Giants like theirs is going to be like a big threat in the playoffs? How about only Giants fans?
Yeah, I don't even know if Giants fans are believing in their teams at that point. I mean, they've been so just terrible for years now, like just horrible ever since 2012.
But
it's Tom Brady was their last great year.
I will say New York fans are lit right now between Jets and Giants fans. They're both 7-2, or maybe Jets are 6. Jets, I don't know, but they're both looking good record wise. But people who watch the games know they're not that good. So
no,
yeah.
I mean it's still what the Giants have done this year. It's a step up from last year. I will say that, but 7-2 is obviously one of the better teams. Record wise is one of the better teams up there, but they aren't.
Right. Brian Daboll and Pete Carroll are duking it out in the ring for Coach of the Year. I'd give it to Pete Carroll right now, but if Daboll keeps making these Giants win, I don't know.
If Pete Carroll keeps this up, if the Seahawks, if they're 10-7 or even 500,
By the way, I think if Seattle makes the playoffs, it should give Pete Carroll that award on a platter because that would be. I think Vegas had your Seahawks winning 2 to 3 games this year, so that
I got roasted for saying we'd win 6.
Well,
we're already almost there. Yeah, and
you are there.
We are. I always get 6-4 after that loss. We haven't had our bye week. Yeah. We lost to the Niners. I'm trying to remember who we lost to. The Niners. Obviously, we lost to the Buccaneers. We lost to the Falcons. God, who was the other team? I'm completely blanking. We beat the Chargers, obviously.
You did.
The Saints. Yeah, we lost to the Saints. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that was a terrible game. So we're 6-4, but we're on bye week this week, and yeah, you're right. Pete Carroll. Anyone who called or said the Seahawks would make the playoffs, I just thought was a delusional fan at that point. Nobody expected this at all. They're already at 6 wins, and that's what I thought they'd do this year, and that was a hot take. People are like, "What? You're crazy," but I stuck with it, and hey, look where we are now. But
yeah,
another friends calling me. Forgot to mute that. But what other games do you like this week? We got Bills Browns. That's another one that I like. Out in Detroit, if it stayed in Buffalo, that'd been one of the ultimate snow games. It would have been crazy.
I'm interested in that game because if Josh Allen has another bad game, I know we touched on this earlier, then All right, I think my eyebrows might perk up a little bit if Josh Allen has another bad game. Not say he had a bad game last week, but if he throws another couple picks and
For
keeps,
sure.
just keeps stacking that list of most interceptions in the league. I mean, I don't. So yeah, that one interests me a little bit, just because of that factor. One game, I mean, it's the battle of the clowns, Denver and Oakland, or Denver and Vegas, I should say. I'm praying for a tie, and I'm just hoping for a tie in that game. That'd be fantastic. But I mean, I'm looking for those idiots to battle it out. So that's another game I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. Not good, but just good to watch. I mean, it's probably gonna be like very weird looking. Like, I think I have a bet that the Broncos are gonna finish last in the AFC West. I've had it since August.
Nah. No way. The Raiders are going to finish last.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. I'm really rooting for the Raiders this week, but man, the way they've been looking, losing to Jeff Saturday, literally.
Yeah, that was
lost all hope for them.
That was just a backbreaker. It's over.
I almost just sent the dude the money at that point. I was just like, oh, it's over.
It looks like Devontae Adams is now questionable this week. Like they're closing it down.
I really hope he plays, man.
It's over.
For fantasy purposes, I have him and Tyreek Hill.
Me too.
I really hope Adams comes through and has a good game against Denver. Because
man, I might be benching Tay this week. My receiver roster is not bad in fantasy, so
I got Ayuk. That's why I'm starting over Hill, and then I could start Devin Duvernay.
I mean, I got Mike Williams ready to go. I think I'm going to put him over Adams this week if he's active. So we'll see.
Wow.
About to go 9. Oh, by the way, I had Derrick Henry and Lazard tonight, and they cooked, kind of. So, I mean, I'm about to go 9-2 this week. I'm feeling great in my fantasy league. So, yeah, there's that.
4 losses. But I need I got Jalen Hurts. I'm debating on either Gerald Everett or Cole Kmet at tight end. That's the hard debate I've been having in my mind. I know I think they're both questionable.
Kmet's a little banged up, and he's questionable too. And again, you don't know if Keenan or Mike will. Even if they play, they're not going to be 100%. I'd go Everett just because of Herbert's lack of weapons.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing like the past 3 weeks. That's what I've been going the same way there. But Bills Browns, back to like the actual result of that game. I we don't have the money lines, unfortunately, or none of the odds in front of us. But what I will say is this is going to be a close game. I think, being in Detroit where there isn't 6 feet of snow or whatever ridiculous number that is in Buffalo, it's going to be more offense than we think. I mean, how about I never expected Jacoby Brissett to help the Browns score like 30 a game consistently. How about that? I mean,
yeah.
Nick Chubb is having his career year. This is an eye-opening game for Josh Allen. If he throws picks, like you said, then there's some more questions we can ask. But I personally think that Josh Allen he seems like that guy who's just motivated by the media talking crap on him. Like, I feel like people were preying on him to be bad for all this time. Oh, Josh Allen sucks. And the second year in the league came out and just started cooking. So I think with all this talk around him, I think he's going to come back and do his thing. Have a good game this week. I'm confidently picking the Bills by like a touchdown.
He is under the biggest microscope of everyone in the league. So we're going to see what he's got under this pressure. I mean, he has big pressure to have. I mean, he's had big games, but it's just the red zone. So I want to see if he gets the yips when it really comes under pressure, because it's going to be fascinating. So I can't wait to see how Josh Allen handles this.
Yeah, I think that's one of the top games this week. That Chargers Chiefs, Niners Cardinals. To talk about that, I don't think that's gonna be. I'm not ready.
No, Niners are gonna smoke them. That's gonna be
that by like 2 touchdowns. That's another one I'll confidently pick. I mean, my Seahawks are on bye this week, which sucks. We already talked about the Jets Patriots.
Bye weeks when your team has the bye, it's I hate it. It's just the worst. Yeah.
Well, especially I feel like being a Seahawks fan and watching Russell Wilson for so long, it seemed like every bye week he'd come back and we'd always lose, or he'd play like crap, or something would go wrong. I don't know, but we went the Cowboys. God, I know that was like, ooh, that's gonna be a good game. I don't remember I blanked on who they're playing though. So it's in the later window.
Oh, hold on. Cowboys are playing the Vikings.
Yes, really. Yup. This is a good game here, and the Cowboys blowing their 2 touchdown lead to Aaron Rodgers last week. I mean, I feel like taking the upset here it's gonna have to happen for me. I think the Cowboys are gonna pull it off. And it's not that anything against the Vikings or the
Right.
Nothing knocking this team. It's just I feel like the Vikings are due to kind of get a loss.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's been a while. Tony Pollard has been like if that dude can kill it, then I think the Cowboys are gonna be good. It's not gonna be a blowout for sure. It's gonna be easily a very close game. Another game that I wouldn't be shocked if we actually went to OT. If that Vikings-Cowboys game went to OT, I would not be shocked. No,
me too. And that's the thing too. I really wish, like, I'm not saying I don't not like Ezekiel Elliott, but Pollard's better than him. And I think it's obviously that he's better than him by like a lot. But anyway, I will say if the Vikings win again this week against the Cowboys, I mean, then I got nothing to say. Like, I know we talked about it earlier that I know that, I said they're eking out wins and, there's like 6 one-score games. If they beat the Cowboys this week and go to 9-1, then damn, man. Like, what can you say? Like, they're legit. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but.
No, that I think the Packers or the Cowboys are they're coming to play. I mean, if you could take, especially after what happened last week, if you can take a W against the 9-1, 8-1 Minnesota Vikings, they're going to come to play. And I'm not even a Dak, like, what I think about Dak, but it's just you have to come ready to play at this point. I mean, if they could steal the Vikings, talk about microscope and people talking about them. The Cowboys are going to be getting all talk on media, like Cowherds talk. Like they already kind of do, but they're going to be one of the biggest stories that they can pull out this W.
Yeah, and one more NFL thing, so I want to get to Otani before we get out of here. Packers lose tonight by 10, 27-17 at home to the Titans.
I'm not shocked.
4-7 Packers. Are the Packers officially dead this year?
I said They're officially dead for a while. So yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like Rodgers is dead. Not literally. It's over. Like he's lost. Yeah. It's over for him.
Agreed.
And by the way, Titans underrated AFC team in the playoffs. They got to be watched out here.
Talk about something I was completely wrong about this year, and that was the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
No one expected the Colts to be this bad either. Like, I was like, I thought the shift change for Matt Ryan would kind of. I thought I was gonna do him right, but
I was never a Matt Ryan guy. I never loved Matt Ryan. Like, I don't know.
Never loved him, but I thought he was a good player. I just thought I did not expect it to be this much of a bleep show in Indianapolis. I mean,
yeah.
Jonathan Taylor's barely played because of ankle injuries and all that. He's always been on the injury report to sprain ankle this year. Matt Ryan's just looking like crap. I mean, Frank Reich, Jim Irsay. Irsay lost his mind.
And the reason too, I knew Frank Reich was the Chargers offensive coordinator for a long time, and I was never a fan of his. So I was never clear. All right, can we before we get out of here? Why don't you tee it up here? Because I'm about to go nuclear before we get out of here.
Okay, so Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright, Blindside Sports. We are about to get out of here. So follow Nick on Twitter at @isNickWright. Get me at EmmettNoC04. And did somebody deserve to win the MVP in the AL League? Did he deserve it? And that is Aaron Judge. If you guys didn't know, Aaron Judge won the AL MVP, and it was not close. Or in votes. It was a landslide. Aaron Judge had 28 votes compared to Shohei Ohtani's 2 votes. And the interesting part about all this whole thing, this is my favorite part about this, is the 2 voters who voted for Shohei were from LA. So everyone's just all on Aaron Judge. But Nick, we had this whole discussion. Right, we are on live when Aaron Judge quote unquote broke the record. We were on live when that happened, had this discussion. You laid down a bunch of stats for me, but now that's official. Aaron Judge won the MVP, and Nick, how mad are you right now? How are you feeling after Shohei didn't win that, especially being that bad, 28-2?
The fact that I'm an Angels fan does not matter. I don't care if he was on the Dodgers. I don't care if he was on. Let's just say I don't care if he was on any other team that had a losing record.
Okay.
The fact that it's 2 votes. 2 votes. Okay. Yeah.
How about that?
He was the unanimous MVP last year on a losing Angels team. Okay? He had a better season this year on a losing Angels team. Did Aaron Judge have an amazing historic year with his home runs and other stuff? Yeah. Great year. 2 votes. How does this is why the MLB is where it's at, maybe the third best, most popular sport, and I think it's getting debatable now because no one cares. But people are showing they don't care about baseball anymore. This is the most egregious, ridiculous, most asinine thing I think I've ever seen in my 30 years of watching sports. How you can flip from last year to the year after, from somebody who has not done anything we've seen in a century, like Babe Ruth. And by the way, Babe Ruth was playing against old white guys who had no idea how to play baseball barely. And now we're in a league, in an era, I should say, where, we have people from all over the world who are talented at playing baseball. And it wasn't just a condensed white person only league.
Yeah.
And now, after only 1 year of Shohei Ohtani doing something that no one's seen before, and it was improbable, we're saying 1 year later, just 1 year later, he does basically the same thing and even a little bit better. Oh, voters are over it. Oh, just because the Yankees have a winning record and Aaron Judge hit the home run record, which, by the way, no, I think that was 7th in home runs. But baseball voters are the biggest jokes and crimes of the century when it comes to voting because of steroids and stuff like that, which actually steroids saved baseball. So they should actually herald that. But anyway, it is the biggest crime I've ever seen in sports voting, and it's not even close. Like, I really legitimately thought Ohtani was going to win. I legitimately thought, I thought it would be kind of close. 2 votes. 2 votes. This is the biggest clown show I have ever seen in my life in sports. It makes 0 sense. You tagged me in a thing and I respect and love Rob Parker because I worked with him. How he can say what he said. He knows baseball. He's been covering baseball for 30, 40 years or something like that. What is this East Coast bias thing? There is nothing to say. Like, Rob Parker basically thought Aaron Judge should have been unanimous. Should have been literally unanimous, I guess, according to his clip that you showed me. Wait, it's the most valuable player award, not the most valuable team award. If you switch Ohtani and Judge, are the Angels better with Judge or are the Yankees better with Ohtani? The answer is simple. The Yankees would be better with Ohtani. The Yankees might have won the World Series if they had Ohtani.
Yeah.
So, because, what did Aaron Judge do in the postseason? Oh, that's right. Nothing.
Oh, goose egg.
So, this is the fact that Ohtani only got 2 votes. Just want to put this. I've thrown you stats for MLB seasons with 3 wins above replacement WAR as a hitter and 3 wins above WAR as a pitcher. Ohtani 2, Babe Ruth and everyone else, goose egg, 0 Rooney. So this is the most egregious voting I've ever seen. It's embarrassing for baseball. It's embarrassing for everyone associated in the voters. It's just an embarrassment to the game. The fact that he was unanimous last year and now only had 2 votes this year makes no sense, and it's insanity. Yeah. And I'm never going to get over it.
And this is, I don't know. Did you see Bursch's tweet about the East Coast bias with the Mets winning the Mets manager winning manager of the year?
I did not.
Yeah, so that I mean, he's like, I don't remember exactly. I was trying to pull it up, but I didn't. I pulled up and completely forgot his quote. But he was saying, how it's proving your point of the East Coast bias. I mean, there's so much toward everybody loves the East Coast, man. I mean, but enough of that. But Aaron Judge did nothing in the playoffs, which baseball, they do it after the regular or after like everything's over, but it's basically a regular season award. And the thing that was just absolutely wild to me is how untalked about Ohtani was this year in mainstream media. I mean, last year, when he had this, that season he had that, unanimous MVP, everybody was talking about him. It's just now this year, I don't see people talking about him like that.
He had a better year.
Yeah.
And it's the Angels, the higher ups' fault. They consistently put a bad team around Trout for a decade. Now it's coming into Ohtani's life. And that's the reason, because they're a bad baseball team. And this is the ultimate team sport. Whenever the thing that drives me the most insane is when I see casuals and even blue check idiots like what, like, I'm sorry, Rob Parker, I'm including you in that too. Like he said, Ohtani didn't play in any meaningful games this year. How is that? Yes, actually he did, because he has to pitch and hit whenever he pitches, he hits too. So yeah, that's kind of meaningful actually.
It's a lot on the body.
Because the players around him do not do well around him does not mean he's not the most valuable player. It's the most valuable player, not the most valuable team. Who cares if the Angels are in the postseason? He is the most valuable player to his team. Like I said, Emmett, are the Yankees a better team with Judge or Ohtani?
Probably easily Ohtani. And
then what are we talking about here? It's insanity. It's like, I just don't get. It's like my mind can't process what everyone is taught. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm losing my mind talking about this. That's all I got to say about that. It's mind-boggling. It's just absolutely ludicrous. It's insanity.
Yeah, and you said it all, man. Like literally, the only thing I had to add to that was the whole, how nobody talked about Ohtani at all. And I feel like
it's been 1 year. It's like do people think we're just gonna see other people come in and pitch and hit like Ohtani has in the future? No, that I guarantee you that's not gonna happen. And after one season, 1 year, the voters are over it already. 2 votes. It's like that's it. It's I can't even. I just can't take it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Aaron Judge, like, this is a thing with the whole MVP thing, and I feel like it's across most sports, or sports, the big leagues. But most of these guys who are the MVP make the playoffs. I mean, it happens, but I just feel like it's one of the biggest conceptions in sports is most valuable player. I mean, who holds the most value to a franchise? That's what I think of when I think of that. And it seems like they only go for the guys who made the playoffs. I mean, let's be real. If Ohtani and the Angels so let's say they got bounced first round, do you and Ohtani played decent enough, do you think he still could have won that? I think he would have had way more votes. I think it would have been pretty close, even if Ohtani made the playoffs. But I think people are just tired of how bad that, like you said, the Angels just can't do a thing to get their team situated in a good manner for Ohtani.
Yes. And that's what's ridiculous. If the Angels did make the playoffs, I guarantee he'd be the MVP. And that's what's bull crap about these MLB voters. is that they only care about, if you get to the postseason, even though baseball is the one sport where like Ohtani could have, he literally could have had a 1.5 ERA, hit 50 home runs with a 350 batting average. The Angels still wouldn't make the playoffs. That's baseball. You need a complete team to get to the postseason in baseball. And baseball is the one sport where one guy can't do that, like basketball. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, just the amount. If Ohtani makes the playoffs, like it would completely change. I think it would be one of the closer MVP votings in a while. I think it would be like 16
and that's
to 14.
What's not right. But see, that's what's not right about MLB voting and the MLB in general. It shouldn't matter. It should not matter. It's the most valuable player, not how many valuable team wins you have.
Yeah. And I feel like I said, I feel like that's kind of a misconception in all of sports. I mean, everyone's like, you have to be good to win the MVP, which, most of the time I would go by that rule, right? And I think you would too. But when you see something like Ohtani, where this is generational, I don't know if we'll ever or when we will see another similar player to Shohei Ohtani that is producing to the level that Shohei Ohtani is producing, or even coming close.
It's going to be another 10 to 15 years, and I'm being nice about that.
Yeah. I mean, now we got these young kids trying to be like Curry and all that, but baseball didn't have out here people go, Ohtani, like no one's like, I don't know if we're going to see someone like Ohtani. I mean,
I'll tell you this. Emmett, I'll tell you this. Is it going to be like a water boy effect? Remember how like in the movie with Adam Sandler? Remember like other college teams tried their water boy out to see if they could play football and they just get demolished? I guarantee you that other teams are going to call up guys who can supposedly pitch and hit. But guess what? They're going to get steamrolled. So we're going to see more of that, but it's going to be a disaster. I'll say that.
Yeah, I could see a couple of them panning out and being solid, but no one's Ohtani. I mean, it's crazy how elite this guy is at both categories. I mean,
and here's the thing. I wouldn't. Let's say because Ohtani's going to be dominant for at least 5 more years. Like he's going to do this for 5. At a high level, high level. Like let's just fast forward. Maybe this Judge MVP year was like in year 4 of Ohtani doing this. Let's just say Ohtani won like 3 straight, which he probably should and will. Like if that was like year 4, like, okay, I get it. Like, it's kind of like every year, like LeBron probably should have won MVP every single year kind of thing. So they're just going to give it to other guys to even the playing field. But year 2 after Ohtani, what he did, people like voters are already are over it. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. It's just the media, like they just the new media, they have their agendas, man. Like they really do.
New media, yeah.
Compared to like the older stuff, I mean, the newer, like especially now, like even in the past couple years, I just feel like everything, like the media wants to talk about what they want to talk about, and it's just I don't know how I feel about it. But Ohtani, we've talked about this enough here. I think Ohtani, he could win it next year. I don't think Aaron Judge is doing this 2 years in a row. I mean, especially after that playoff. Like in the last opener.
Here's the precedent now. You see, that's what bugs me. Here's the precedent. It's like Ohtani literally had the best year in MLB history, overshadowing last year where he was unanimous. Now it's like he could do it again, and it's like someone who has a pretty good year could just win that over him again. Like the precedent is set now, and it's it's just horrible. This is so bad for baseball that Judge won this award. It's criminal. This is bad for baseball. Aaron Judge winning 28 to 30. Like that. I mean, if it was close,
20 out of 30.
If it was close, I would have been outraged. This is like, I can't even comprehend how he only got 2 votes. That's a shocking part to me, because I said this last time when Judge broke the record and we had the same exact discussion, but you were like, Ohtani should win the MVP.
and you were laying out all the stats, and I said this, I was like, I think Judge is gonna win, but like it's gonna be like nobody expected it to be this just 28-2, but like I knew Judge was gonna win because the media is obsessed with him. I've never heard one person, or I have a couple people, but they're in the minority of saying, pointing out that Aaron Judge is 7th in home runs. Most media members now are saying that this is a record and Aaron Judge should be MVP. Like us right now, this could be considered a hot take, Nick, and I don't think it is. But to most of like the people now, this is like what we're talking about right now is a hot take. And no, Rob Parker, I know you're not listening because you never miss my show, but I'm not from LA, so I'm not biased. I just know I just know how pitching is. I mean, pitching and hitting.
How does Rob have that take? I can't get over that either. I mean, this whole night.
I love Rob.
This whole night is just. I mean, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, like Will Ferrell and Zoolander. I am taking crazy pills. Like, this is crazy. Anyway, Emmett, anything else before we wrap up? Because I got to wrap up a room here.
I was just gonna say I love Rob, but some of the takes he dishes are just absolutely insane. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, no hate towards Rob. But if you guys enjoyed this episode,
no, Rob's.
I'm trying to get him on. Very busy, one of the hardest. Fox Sports Radio has all the hard workers. That's not even being biased. But if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like. I'll be posting clips throughout the weekend too, so go show those. Like go hit the likes on the socials. I'll put those in the comments in the description after this. Nick, man, it's always fun. I feel like this has been one of our better shows we've done in a little bit. It
was spicy. It was very spicy.
Very spicy, yeah. Somebody hit that spicy drop that Iowa Sam plays, but yeah, it was very good. We had a lot of very engaging conversations. If you guys are checking out the show after the fact, though, you can still tweet at me and Nick if you disagree with us or if you like what we say. We're both active on there, so we'll probably respond.
If Twitter's still alive.
Yeah.
It's alive so far. It's still up.
We can go in the comments and comment down below, and I'll send them to Nick if they're that important. If you're really yelling at Nick or something about Ohtani. But this has been Blindside Sports. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like. Hope to have a new show out soon. But until next time, this has been Emmett Douglas and Nick Wright. See ya.
Later.